All right, this is the third day that I'm in Wes Schaefer's 12 Weeks to Peak program, and part of that is making a video each day. And so, what I've decided to do is make a series about outreach and qualifying your prospects. Okay, so the reason that I'm triggered about this is because most outreach is done so badly, it's just a total turn off to the people receiving it. And if you're doing this, like I get a ton of messages every day sent by people who haven't even sent the connection request or sent it at the same time. And they're like, blah, buy my stuff about me, you know. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't know you. And you have not checked for the first thing that you need to look for when you're prospecting like this. That is, does the person that you're trying to talk to have a need for what you have to offer? Okay. This could be a want, but this is a need. And in essence, what this boils down to is, do they have a problem that you can fix, that you can solve? Okay. And they have to admit it. You can't run around with a torch and yelling, hey, you got this problem. If they don't agree, if they don't admit it, if they don't say, yeah, that's true, then you don't have it. Okay. That you don't have need there. But this is the first thing you want on the table. All right. So this spamming of people, just sending them a connection request and a value vomit, which is not valuable at all, really, in your message to them, your initial message. This is a terrible idea. Stop doing it. Okay, better for you to connect, and you often don't need a message to connect. On LinkedIn, I stay in my lane, right? Space and defense, and I connect with people in space and defense, and I do not need to do a message with outreach. It's not necessary. Have them look at my freaking profile, and the line, the title of what I'm doing, right? Who I am is in there, that headline. It does the work for me. Okay. That's what you should be concentrating on. And then on LinkedIn, you also have the benefit of mutual connections, right? Some general with 200 mutual connections is going to connect back with me, right? They're going to see like, yeah, this guy is one of us. So, but even if you don't have that, I would still go with connecting with people first, and saying, like I mentioned yesterday, that was the first video in this series yesterday. Okay, if you missed that, go back and watch it. These will all look the same, I think, pretty much with this background. Um, you're trying to do outreach and just do that bit where you're looking for need. All right. But even I don't want to get too much into mechanics here because I'll do that later on in this series. But somebody's going to say, well, what should I do? Right. Look at their content, talk about their content, engage on their content. Like I said yesterday, if somebody did that for 3 days in a row, I would notice. They would have my attention, which shows you how lazy people are, how disconnected people are in their effort. They do a little bit over here and then a little bit over there, and nobody's like, who are you? What are you doing? Right. But if you consistently appear on somebody's radar and showing them that you value their posts, their content, they're probably going to pay attention to you, don't you think? Right. So that's kind of a mechanical thing to start out when it comes to outreach. But the first thing you're really looking for is need. Do they have a problem that I, as the solution provider, can solve? And that's what you should be looking for, not spamming people with your offer. So what that looks like on the mechanical side, I guess, is like asking a question. Right. Hey, Jason, I see that you run an agency. I was curious about it. Are you running into any problems regarding blank? You know, getting good clients or managing sales teams or whatever, right? That's a better start than we manage sales teams, you should hire us. Okay. And the softer you can get on this, the better, right? Like rather than just going for the jugular, which is why I recommend starting by talking about their content instead of yours, right? I host a show and it doesn't do very well here on Facebook. For some reason, I don't get much reach. I've had connections for years, decade, that don't know that I have this show. It's hilarious. We're well over 220 episodes, right? Like, so this has been going on for 4 years, right? It does way better on LinkedIn, but it's a giving funnel. I get to connect and ask them about themselves and some topics that are interesting to them and me, and I get a free education out of it, which has made me one of the most broadly educated people in the space field out of the last 4 years of doing this. So that's a great thing, is a giving funnel. But again, concentrating on them and their interests first and looking at their situation rather than shoving your offer into their face on the very first message before you've even connected. Stop doing that. Okay. Connect first. Slow down to speed up. Right. Yes, you will spam fewer people. You will get fewer connections. But you know what? The connections you do make will be more genuine, and you will get deeper and farther in the process. The only people that you're picking up when you do that slamming of your offer first message into DMs is this: the laydowns, the lie downs. Okay. The people who are already looking and going to buy, and they're already educated up, but they're probably price shoppers. And that is a tiny, think of sedimentary rock, right? Very thin layer, 1 to 3% probably of the people who could be buying your stuff. All right. But because you wanted to blast through them, you are missing a lot of opportunities by doing it the old way, the bad way that's being taught, of just spamming people. Okay. You are missing out on a lot of opportunities. If you slowed down and and I'm not talking about nurturing people for a year here. I'm talking about spending like a few days, right, on each prospect and getting to know them a little bit better and getting a connection a little better. You would get farther along and get more qualified people into the funnel, okay, than just spamming through, hit and run once, right? And then you lost, right? Like if I ever see your name again and I remember that you were a spammer last time, I'm not going to accept you next time. You shot your shot and you missed, right? It didn't work. So taking more time, taking more care, just a few days. Again, I'm not talking about this huge lifetime investment or something like that, right, to get it done. And looking for need, okay, a problem that they admit that they have that you can solve, is your first step in qualifying. Okay, this is, again, these videos are too long. I want to make them shorter, but I'll stop there and I'll see you tomorrow.